About a month ago, I got to read Kathleen Fitzpatrick's book, Generative Thinking. It's a great book, and we had a podcast conversation about it that should be out really soon. We had a chance to talk about this, and her opening chapter to Generative Thinking is about leadership. And one of the things she quotes in that is from John Kotter, a great leadership scholar, who observed that most organizations are overmanaged and under-led. I just loved it when I read it, and I've been thinking about it ever since. Today, I want to share with you 5 ways we overmanage and underlead. So there are 5 ways we can overmanage and underlead. There's probably a lot more. Here's some of the ones that I've been thinking about observing with my coaching clients, with the teams, and some of the folks I'm talking to, and some of the frustrations they have with this overmanagement and underled. The first one is a focus on control versus leading with trust. Micromanaging, controlling every little thing, every little outcome, every little input, every little detail, every little budget decision can feel like it's necessary and needed in the moment, particularly when there's pressure on us. It's overmanaging. What we need to do is lead with trust. We need to outline the principles, the boundaries, the values, the things that really, really matter, the constraints, the restrictions, and allow our people and trust them to lead moving forward. So are you being pulled to control, or are you willing to trust and let others lead and lead through that? The second way we overmanage and underlead is by focusing on crises. Now, there are crises that are going to come at us, and we need to manage them. We can become addicted to the crisis of the moment. When there's a crisis, we need to put everything aside and focus in on it. And we get to be the hero, the savior, the rescuer. It feels so good. We feel so important. We feel so needed. And we can become so addicted to that feeling that we keep finding crises over and over and over and over. We start creating them, or we start unearthing them. And one of the things that happens is when there's always a crisis, we're kind of excused from taking on responsibility for the really tough decisions of leadership, for the things that are really our responsibility. So we get addicted to being needed and the ego praise we get with that. And we kind of get an excuse from taking on the things that are really our responsibility, the tough decisions, the decisions that are not clear, that are not easy, that are the decisions that are 51 to 49 and might come with criticism, pushback. The third way we overmanage and underlead is by focusing on rational decisions without paying attention to the emotions. It can be easy in our office looking at a spreadsheet to say, this is the right decision, there's a lot of rationale, I can justify this. And send out an email, or have our admin send out an email, or send out an email from a vague office, like the VP for administration, or something like that. What we often miss is how it lands with how people feel. It might make sense in terms of cutting back things, but it doesn't land with how people feel. I was recently with a group of people who were so devastated by the messaging and how things were going to be communicated. I think they understood why those decisions needed to be made, but how were they communicated left them demoralized, frustrated, feeling unseen and unheard. And they wanted to leave. It was a place that they loved, but they no longer felt like they mattered, and they just felt like they were widgets being pushed around. We need to pay attention to how people feel, not just the rationale behind our choices and decisions. The fourth one is focusing on short-term efficacy versus long-term impact. And what might make sense here in this moment, for the next 3 months, for the next 6 months, maybe even for the next year, might really make sense, but we've got to pay attention to the longer run. What's the implications of these decisions in the 5 to 10-year run? Maybe even beyond our leadership role, beyond this moment, beyond this news cycle, beyond these challenges that we're being faced with. And so how do we pay attention not just to what needs to happen in the moment, but also the long-term implications for the organization, the institution, and the culture that we're trying to create? And finally, in the moment, in the challenges that we're facing, it is so easy to fall into this scarcity-based mindset, to fear and scarcity. And if you're there, I totally get it. It's completely understandable. There's so much evidence that will support why you feel that way. And it won't be effective in leading forward. We need to get ourselves out and help lead our people out of that fear and scarcity-based mindset, as understandable as it is, and help them imagine new possibilities. What could innovation and creativity in this moment? What are these really difficult challenges presenting us with that we could innovate or create around? How might they even be creating opportunities for change that we've longed for and yearned for maybe a decade, but haven't been able to realize? How could this moment and the challenges we're being faced with be an opportunity to lead with and through the crisis, the challenges, and the uncertainty toward new possibilities, new opportunity, new cultures, and new ways of moving forward? When things are good and the budgets are full, it's easy to focus on leading and the long-term vision. When things are hard, it becomes much more difficult. So if you're finding yourself overmanaging and underleading, or finding yourself being overmanaged and underled, I get it. It's understandable. It makes sense. And how do we pull ourselves out? I hope these 5 ways we're often overmanaging and underleading help illuminate the problem and the challenge, help you become more conscious and more aware, and help you shift a little bit from the overmanaging into the leading. Our organizations, our cultures, our society needs you. Do you think I can be helpful in helping you move from overmanaging into the leading? Let's connect.